Ranking letter finally came for the electrician apprenticeship. Okay. This is a follow-up notification concerning your application. Your overall score based on a scale of 0 to 100 resulted in a score of 100, baby! Yeah! This reaction is a culmination of a year's worth of work. Number 6! Number 6! After dropping out of college and spending years working in low-paying minimum wage jobs has now finally gotten me to this point. One of the biggest decisions of my life, and starting my first career ever in my life at the age of 30. This is my story. This is how I became an electrician. I feel like I can't talk about this journey and this huge decision without talking about the ultimatum I got from my parents. I come from a family where going to college is the expectation. My mother graduated from UC Berkeley and UC Davis. My older siblings would go on and graduate from prestigious universities.
Roderick Kenny II.
Yeah! The expectation in my family is not if you're going to college, but when and where. I went to college and had the whole college experience. As a student athlete, I got to travel, homecoming, football games, you name it. However, like a lot of people, I was going to college with no plan, and when things got hard, I struggled. I ended up dropping out after my third semester of being at Santa Cruz. It wasn't that college wasn't a good fit for me, I just was a different person, and I had very low self-esteem. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was capable enough compared to my classmates, so as a result, self-fulfilling prophecy, I didn't do well. And I spent the next 5 or 6 years just not doing anything really, just, working, but working jobs that were minimum wage jobs. And by the time I was 29, it got down to a point where my parents were like, hey, look, you're not doing anything with your life really. You're working these jobs where you're barely making ends meet for yourself, and we need you to start working towards a career path. My parents told me I had a year to figure it out. Either I would go back to college and finish out my degree, or get into some form of trade. If neither of those things were done after the year was over, I had to find another place to live. To their point, I don't even blame my parents. They didn't know what else to do with me at the time, and that was the best case scenario and the best thing that they can think of to basically light a fire under my butt, and that it did. I knew going back to school wasn't for me. Being a broke college student, taking out student loans with no guarantee of a career once I finished was not something that I wanted to do. I didn't know anything about trades. No one in my family worked in construction. But the more I researched, the more I considered that maybe this was a good fit for me. When I was in school, I did have a class on circuits. I absolutely loved this class. So I decided to look into being an electrician. I found out a lot of things that were very important to me, such as being able to work and learn at the same exact time, being able to make more than minimum wage, which at the time I was making, like I said, 18, 19 bucks an hour, having options to get promotions while simultaneously being able to work on my life, being able to supply for myself, having a sense of independence. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. What would come next was a series of challenges, from an in-person application, an aptitude test, and an oral interview. All right, for context, so that's where the line started. It goes all the way around here, but when I got here, it was all the way at that corner where the Honda is. I've been here since 12:45. I'm just now leaving. It is 3:41. It would take a total of 6 months before I would receive my acceptance letter. And even then, the wait was far from over. I got my letter May 20th, and it is currently July 13th. I did call yesterday, and they told me that I am number 3, so I've gone from 6 to 3. It seems like they're averaging about 1 apprentice a week, so that's been great. Another thing is I did quit my job. How I normally do stuff is I've never quit a job without giving in a 2-week notice. But with this, it's literally you get a phone call and the next day you're employed with the apprenticeship. I didn't feel comfortable just telling my boss randomly, hey, like, I'm gonna leave tomorrow. It worked out in that regard, but I know some people who are trying to do this, they won't have that opportunity. And it's one of those things where you have to get up and you have to go now. Someone did tell me that they didn't, and it took them 6 months. So imagine, putting 7 months into trying to get into this apprenticeship to become an electrician, and then you have to go another 6 months because you couldn't take the call. There's the patience aspect, because once I got my letter in May, I've been driving my boyfriend absolutely crazy, talking about how much I want to get in and how long it's taking and when am I going to get in. Ultimately, my goal is to become a master electrician. We'll see how that goes. I just want to be the best. So yeah, that is all that has been going on. It's been fun stuff. When they tell you do not make any plans, they mean it. Do not make any plans. Last week I called and I found out that I was in the 3rd placement to getting a job. 2nd time in 2 weeks. And I was just like, you know what? We're going to make plans. We're actually going to go out. At 9 o'clock this morning, I'm still in my bonnet. I'm still in my bed. And I see my contact, his name showed up on my phone. And I jumped out of bed super quick. I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, hey, it's Monday. I'm like, yeah, and it's not a Friday. I was expecting to talk to you on Friday. He's like, well, I got a job for you. Are you in? And I was like, hell yeah, man. I got there, had to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. I ended up getting some tools. They did supply tools for me. They're being lent until my 5-year is over, and then they will be officially mine. But I got a Milwaukee tool set and a couple other things. I start tomorrow at 6 a.m. I don't even have to really travel. Any words of advice I would give to someone in this position is be patient. You're not as prepared as you think you are. And once you get that call, make sure you answer. I was in my bonnet at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I saw it, and I jumped up like a jackrabbit. Just make sure you're in a position to where you could do that as well. I'm going to go home and put my tools in my toolbox, unload everything. I'm super excited. I can't wait to call my boyfriend later on and tell him that I'm in and tell him all that I got. It may have taken me a while, but I feel like I'm right where I need to be. It's 5:40, my first day of work. I got my books today. Oh my God. It's a lot. It's so much. I know the road ahead will be long and it will be tough. But anything worth anything is going to require you to give something. And I wouldn't have it any other way.